Hi there, welcome to my channel, The Money Effect, where we aim to help build the finance and money knowledge of people visiting this channel to help them, use in their own way to build wealth. The views expressed in this video are just my opinion, so it's not financial advice, and yeah, just trying to help people keep up to date with what's going on in the finance and money areas to see if to use to their advantage to build wealth. um the first thing I'll talk about this week, one of the hottest topics, has been Squid Games. So a movie out on Netflix. I think it's broken numerous numbers and records. So, well, I'm just kidding. This is not really going to be. It's not one of those channels where you discuss about movie spoilers, but it has been a big topic this week. And in responding to that, obviously it's on the Netflix platform. We can see the Netflix share price, has kind of responded in kind over the last few days. It's been a big boost, and as winter's coming, we're not sure what's happening with lockdowns as such. Netflix could be a big gainer if we look at when the outset of this whole incident. Netflix has been one of the beneficiaries of that, so potentially could be something good going forward. But I'll actually stick to the main topic. So the main topic this week has been Facebook. That's been all in the news. If we look at the chart, and it's not been the greatest week for Facebook. It's been faced with a lot of regulation, from Congress. It's been faced over the years with a lot of regulation, trying to decrease its powers. Obviously, social media is such a prominent factor in today's world. So Facebook has literally been on the onset of scrutiny and regulation for many of years, but it seems to have fought all those scrutinies. But this week, we've had two major incidences. One, Facebook, went offline for a few hours, which then took down Instagram and WhatsApp, being obviously part of Facebook, and also this whistleblower report that has found some of the effects of somebody. I believe the lady was a project manager, project owner, so she had good insight knowledge of the company, and she's basically came out and blasted it. So as you can see, that coupled with her testimony, Facebook, from where it was, kind of at the start of this week, it's plummeted down. So maybe we can see it more on I guess 6 month chart. So we've gone from there. September, obviously that was due to the whole interest rates and tech, but it's now keeps going lower. So in short, she's come out and basically exposed the company, saying it's harmful to children. They're putting profits ahead of democracy. There's also been other allegations that they padded some of their user rights, obviously for advertising purposes. So it's not been a good week for Facebook. If you look at the financials of the company, obviously it's definitely a company that benefited from this whole lockdown. It's making tremendous amounts of money. Look at its net incomes. It's making, so Facebook is, Facebook. Well, when I say Facebook, I guess one would say more Instagram than Facebook, I think, because that's the main driver which most people are on. So it's definitely, and of course WhatsApp. So it's definitely a company. But yeah, that's definitely been in the news. I'd suggest, if you're not familiar with what's been going on, definitely research it. Personally, me, I think there's probably going to be more to come, and with the whole, interest rates rising, tech companies, and that's obviously not helping tech companies. You know, this definitely a stock that probably is likely to still get affected. But if you're somebody that uses Instagram and you believe, that this is how the world is and it's something that's here to stay, it's definitely, start following the stock, getting your knowledge up, because in the next few months you could be seeing some really attractive price levels. If we look at the run up since um, all the lockdowns. It's had a great run up. So we could, with everything that's going on now, we could be heading back down to create some good entry points. So definitely, if you're somebody, you're trying to build wealth and you like social media and you're looking for like certain investments, definitely something to keep an eye on what's going on with Facebook at the moment, because obviously it's a main topic and it's very interesting. So we'll go to the next big news. So the next big news of the week has been energy prices. Energy prices have risen. So we'll take it back to the south. For Facebook was more for the US. So we take it back in looking at the UK. Well, of course, US, particularly Europe, energy crisis we're having here. Brief summary of what's been happening. So obviously, wholesale gas prices are rising. You've got Russian supply issues, you've got Asian demand. Some of the platforms that supply the gas had to be taken offline. Some of the maintenance has been backlogged from the pandemic. So it's all happening now. Solar power hasn't been as effective to create that additional supply as was thought. And I think there was also an incident where some cables got damaged on transportation between France and the UK, so they're not operational. So that's all kind of created a perfect storm where these energy prices are just rising tremendously. One thing we've seen is, Russia. This is an article here about the US was right about Russia. So Russia came, there's a pipeline that's being built, and Russia came to say Europe's rescue and increased the gas supplies, which kind of stabilized the prices for now. But whether that's going to hold on going forward, who knows? But one company that's benefiting in the UK anyway is Centrica. So Centrica is the main company, but obviously the company underneath Centrica is British Gas, which is part of Centrica. Obviously, it's one of the big firms that supply gas in the UK. And if you look at, we just take a look at its share price over the past month, as we're heading into winter. I guess traditionally you would see October as winter. I know the weather's a bit all crazy nowadays, but you would see, September, October going into winter. You can see the run up it's had. And, if we're looking at, this was a massive company, and it slowly had a decline. And maybe now what's happened is a lot of the smaller firms are going bankrupt. And you may ask, why is British Gas not going bankrupt? Well, a lot of the smaller firms are going bankrupt because as the wholesale gas prices increases, obviously they can't buy at that price. So, they've had to go bankrupt, and British Gas is basically picking up all these customers from all these smaller companies. I think there was maybe 60 of them at the start of the year. We might get down to like 14, 15, and British Gas is picking up all this business. Now, whether it's going to turn into profitability for British Gas, who knows, but they're gaining now market share, going back to where we was, a few years ago before all these regulations came in to break up these big firms. So one reason British Gas at the moment is not really affected is because they hedge. And, when we use hedging, we say, they've basically already pre-ordered their wholesale gas, so they've bought their wholesale gas already. So these price increases at the moment are not going to affect them. Obviously, if we get into a colder winter and energy goes ridiculous, then likely, yeah. So you can see here already some of these companies going bust. So yeah, they've managed to wholesale their gas prices, and yeah, they're basically at the moment are benefiting from this whole thing. So it's interesting company to keep an eye out with everything that's going on right now in the regarding the energy crisis. And just on a personal note, in terms of yourself, we had the price cap that came in. If you haven't got a fixed tariff, I would highly suggest that that's something you need to do. Really fix your tariff, because prices are going to go up. It's going to be a very cold winter. So if you haven't fixed your prices already before the tariff, the energy price cap increased in October, I would still do it now, because if you can, prices are definitely going to go up. So that's definitely been one of the main topics this week. And then also we're back to crypto. So if you see here, crypto's had a great week. It's Bitcoin's up Ether's up. These are the main cryptos, and well, one of them that's sticking out is Shiba. So we've had a lot of crypto. It's been a great week for crypto. Now, one of the reasons in crypto investing, in terms of, there's so many cryptocurrencies out there. I'm not an expert, but it's definitely one that we'll be discussing. It's one for the future. It's something that can build your wealth. So it's definitely something to gain your knowledge on. As I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not offering any investment advice. One of the cryptocurrencies I like is Ethereum, because it's actually got real world use. But beyond that, a lot of these coins, we don't really know what the application is, and a lot of these coins have become sort of like meme coins, and one of them is Shiba. So Elon Musk had a tweet, you know, saying, he believes in Shiba. Picture these dogs. Same thing he done with Dogecoin, and this currency is 216%. You can see it here. It's really had a great week. Now, potentially, this is a very volatile thing. If you're anybody that's thinking, I want to jump in this and make quick money, potentially you might, but just be aware this is, you have to, can you do research? We don't really know what this coin is supposed to do. It is expanding to some real world uses in terms of payments and decentralized finance, but is it still, but what can it still do? So if you're somebody that is trying to, jump on this cryptocurrency, I do urge you to kind of do as much research you can and be prepared to lose your money, because these especially these smaller ones that have had big runs, they can really just go anywhere. If we look at, if we look at the run now, one of the reasons crypto is having a big run is previously there was a lot of talk about regulation on crypto, which will probably come back again, but it's somewhat eased now. We had the whole China situation banning crypto. China's had so many issues with China. I'll get into that in another video, but that's another one they came out with. Obviously, that has kind of surpassed now, in terms of, they've said things like this before, so people are not really taking it that seriously. And also seasonal factors. I think every big crypto bull run seems to happen around this time, October. If you look at the last one, obviously this is an American dates format, but you see like the 10th, 9th to the 10th, that was around October. We had that big spike up originally in 2017, and then it kind of plateaued after that. And again, if we look at 2020, the big spike we had last year, again, it was in October. So October seems to be a seasonal date where we do have these big run-ups. So if you are looking to kind of get any crypto exposure, now is potentially the time to do that. And just be aware that of the difference between the coins. Like I said, something like a Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe you'd lose half of your money, but these smaller coins, you could really, they could really go down a lot. So yeah, just a video to kind of keep you up to date with what's going on, in the finance world, in the money world. And like I said, these views are just mine. They're not financial advice, but just take them as summaries and kind of use that to build your knowledge up. And let's get this money together. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe.